Down and ready to rock.
And one thing to mention as well, Juan de la Cruz back in the lineup. He was out for the Florida Gulf Coast Series as he was dealing with some injuries that required a little bit of rest, but now he's back and ready to go. You see him on your screen right there, among the conference leaders in stolen bases on a team that leads the conference in stolen bases. Stetson in their black tops, white pants. And we're about to get rolled.
Big challenge for Central Arkansas as they will play cross division for the first time this year. But hey, go out and face the A-Sun pitcher of the year at home where he likes to pitch most.
Moseni hits that right to Landon Moran. Right to the bag, one down. And that'll bring up Tanner Leonard, who at the beginning of the year, Jesse, the Bears had pegged Leonard to be their starting shortstop, making the move from second base. They've now since moved him back to second base, as Nathan Degree, who used to do. First pitch strike at 89. That's really very much his game, Jesse. He is a pitcher who loves to get ahead, more so maybe than most guys. Certainly makes it a priority as he misses there.
He loads up the strikeout category, but in conversations I've had with him, his bread and butter is just locating strikes down in the zone and making hitters chase even out of the zone with it being in pitchers' counts.
That one just missing inside. According to home plate up, James Ainsworth. Allen, one of 3 Bears to make a postseason team in his case. 3rd-team All-A-Sun. Leonard going, pitch outside for a ball to throw down the second, not in time. Salvador Alvarez online with the throw, but Tanner Leonard got too good of a jump.
Tanner Leonard right there is 8th stolen base of the year. He's 8 for 9, or 8 for 10 now, excuse me, but way to put the pressure on early and get
move to first. We're going to have runners at first and second now for freshman shortstop Nathan Degree.
This is a similar scenario that we saw Jonathan Gonzalez in his final regular home season. It's one of the day. Good strikeout. You can not only just play, but compete and be an X factor on the mound. It really makes a difference.
The 2-2. And it's 2 Ks for Jonathan Gonzalez to get him out of the top of the first. But Central Arkansas trying to repeat his turning darlings from a year ago. Nathan Degree giving him a great start. That 2 RBI double.
He means business. He's someone that takes to take care of his mental health outside of the game that has made the difference. But we'll see how this team responds.
And on the mound for UCA, it's Charlie Christensen, who was a factor for them last year, especially in the tournament. He's had some great games throughout the year, Jesse. Eastern Kentucky in particular, when he went complete game shutout.
Yeah, he's been a guy that has been with Central Arkansas all 3 years, and Coach Harlan has just absolutely, he was healthy all year. As that first pitch falls in for a strike to a 3-1 count, I think he would have had a chance to be maybe first team, but he missed the season, so there's things that you won't know. But for the games that he has played, he has been near impossible. Just 5% of his at-bats have resulted in a strikeout.
And that one hit towards second. And Isaiah Barquette is retired early. There's really no other way to put it, as that one is missed outside.
Right here, too, Miola at first. Stetson, we know they lead the A-Sun in stolen bases. If they want to get a runner in scoring position here to score on a potential single, Miola with just 9 bags on the year might have to get in motion.
He's got a nice lead off first as Moran hits that shallow center. Week was a monster too, just all year long. Stetson was just throwing out one starting quality arm after another. And really, that was a big reason why they got the 48 wins. And Stetson is very much a team based on pitching and defense, not unlike Central Arkansas, actually. The Bears are, in some ways, kind of like a Stetson clone. They are basically losing in the final to the defending champion, Stetson. That's in for the strike at 88 miles an hour. Moseni grounding out to first base on an 0-1 pitch to start us off here. It was the part of the lineup behind him, Jesse, that were responsible for the 2 runs that UCA put up. Leonard single, and then Zeb Allen getting hit by a baseman, who last year in the A-Sun tournament was 4 for 14.
Let's go, John, go.
That Bears team was really all about the pitching, especially from
and just be in the conversation for freshman of the year. That's how you know you've gotten your career off to a good start at Division I level.
the freshman from South Carolina. Bouncing that one. High one. Had nice. Nelfi Lopez stepping in, and Christensen lining up the gun at 93. Nelfi Lopez, when he's not been the second baseman, he's often been the DH for Stetson this year. A young guy, much like Juan de la Cruz, Jesse, a guy who was not expected to get a lot of run early, but injuries have kind of forced that.
Absolutely. And big thing here when they just called that plate meeting right there with the assistant coach was, hey, see some pitches, work this count. Don't just get yourself out in one pitch.
The 2-2. And he's down looking. Charlie Christensen, his first K of the day, is as Jongo darts that one.
That's just something that we have not seen, Masad, out of Jongo at all, is wild pitches and spiked fastballs. It's just one of those things that it doesn't give up many free bases, and we've already seen a couple today.
That one hit hard towards short. Miola manages to get a glove on it, but Allen, too much speed. He'll get on board for the second time today.
Years of college baseball combined before this year under all three of them. That's because all three of them are freshmen. And Salvador Alvarez came from the JUCO level at Florida Southwestern. So these are all three young guys that you just thrown into the fire. And Tripper told me that each one of them have different skill sets and talents that control the game. But it's the bat, that once someone got hot with the bat, they were going to have to get consistent reps.
Another throw over to first.
Was able to chase it right here. He kind of fakes the catch. That's a good baseball IQ play. I don't even know Jordan Taylor. I think Jordan Taylor for a split second may have thought that Cheeky was going to catch that ball as well before he realized he had no chance. But if Jordan Taylor charged that ball full speed, I mean the runner was not even halfway at the time. No throw, but that could have been way different. That's a good play there. Heads up. Allen 40 RBIs on the season. 9 homers along with it.
A senior from Flower Mound, Texas. Little roller towards the shortstop. The second for one. Do they get the double play? They do.
Like that.
Russell stretching out the lead at first, and apparently too much for Charlie Christensen to let go. UCA with a 2-0 lead over Stetson. UCA with 4 hits, Stetson with 2. UCA trying to take. That misses low.
I would love to see the statistic on when a pitcher throws 2 or more pickoffs back-to-back. The next pitch, if it's a strike or a ball, and competitively.
Sounds like you have a theory there.
Statistic. Yeah, I'm telling you.
That one bounced right between first and second. The high chopper fielded cleanly by Leonard. Runner moves up. Alvarez retired. But it does put a runner in scoring position for Stetson for the first time today. And coming up, Jesse, Juan de la Cruz will step in. Back in the lineup after sitting out a few games. They may have been jobbed a little bit.
Maybe again they're having a little frustration, but Coach Harlan been one of the more cool, calm, and collected coaches here that we've spoken to this week.
So let's take a look here. Was there interference? Maybe with the backswing? And may have hit the catcher. Hard to tell from that replay. The throw was definitely offline.
Yeah, tough call. I don't know if there was enough to really force any obstruction by the hitter there, but we'll have one out, runner on third.
And Christensen spins that one outside at first inning. His last 2 home runs, partner, have been here at the MAC in the bottom of the 3rd inning. I'm just going to point that out.
Wouldn't have been a strike on Jake.
That one missing outside and low.
Masad, in our weeks of looking up trends and stats, baseball is the game of trends and who is having things, and it's always those niche statistics that they tend to come together.
Pitch into the hole between first and second, and Stetson has the lead. Hustling the third, Lorenzo Miola. Landon Moran with an RBI. and the Hatters are out in front.
RBI number 34 for number 10. Exactly the version of himself that we've seen this year in terms of free bases. But how much of a pad do you need? 6-2 can feel like almost 10-2 when you have this kind of pitcher on the mound. You see exactly why.
Indeed, as Shadow goes fishing there, that is strike 3 and the 5th K of the day for Jonathan Gonzalez as he inches ever closer to that 100 mark in terms of Ks for the year, Jesse.
He's been effective.
Reynolds getting his first real action in a Bears uniform this year. Check swing, caught a piece of it, and that's enough for James Ainsworth as Jongo gets his 6th K of the game, and that brings up Noah Goodshield.
That was actually a changeup that hung. That was his curveball. He hasn't really thrown that much this year, actually, but in between, do I want to go dive and get this ball, or do I want to stop and keep it in front of me? And he caught himself right smack in the middle of I don't know. And that comes in time with being young, but at least he held it to a single and nothing more. But
Carter Alexander now due up. That is part of the ongoing education of Foster Apple in left field. It has been a learning experience for him. In talking with Coach Trimper prior to the tournament, we asked a little bit about that. Back pick the throw. The first is players hanging out. They're playing in the 4th and final game on day 1 of the Atlantic Sun tournament. They'll be taking on the Lipscomb Bisons. All 4 games on day 1 featuring gold versus graphite matchups. So far, Jesse, it is a 1-1 split between the 2 divisions. The graphite taking the first with Jacksonville beating North Alabama. Austin Peay asserting their dominance with a win over North Florida in game 2.
Yeah, the 1 seeds have gotten the best today, Austin.
Where he started off as a freshman out of the pen as Barquette fouls that one off right between the first base coach's box and the dugout.
Yeah, he's got a guy that has had his workload just completely just stack it, doubled from year 1 to 2. And now here, he's filled it, making his 15th start in his 16th appearance this year.
Time called by the home plate ump. As we have seen the bullpen officially wake up here for UCA. Plays at the edge of the infield grass, looking to potentially throw this to the plate and cut off a run. The only Hatter at double-digit home runs on the year. And Christensen that time pulling the string, 81 miles an hour there, Jesse.
His off-speed, especially that slider on the outside part of the plate.
Format from the Atlantic Sun this year, Jesse. We saw in the regular season, graphite stayed within graphite, gold stayed within gold. But in the tournament, it's been gold versus graphite all the way through. We're seeing new matchups, new looks, and it's been pretty fascinating to watch.
I mean, in all the coaches we spoke to this week, we can both agree that it's a mixed bag of emotions. Some coaches like it, some coaches hate it.
Yeah, there was definitely a few who didn't like it.
Financially, with all the flights and the way that this conference is spread out a little bit across the Southeast with teams like FGC.
Alabama, Austin Peay doing the same to North Florida. It will be JU and Austin Peay in the winner's bracket. North Alabama and North Florida, they're playing tomorrow. One of them is going to see their season come to an end. Who will join them where is the big question. Jordan Taylor now comes on up.
I was about to say, the way he hit that, I could have sworn he hit it on the very end knob of the bat. And the way that had some side.
But not before the Hatters put 6 across. He's a guy who the offensive numbers leave a little to be desired, Jesse. Having said that, though, he's a guy who often gets a lot of run. His defense is very much valued in center field. And he is a guy the Hatters coaching staff believes can eventually turn that bat around.
Yeah, it's a gap that the Hatters urgently needed to fill after losing Kyle Jones, an A-Sun freshman of the year last year. They needed to find a gap, and they almost like they did.
Who has generally been nails all season long for this Hatters pitching staff, Jesse. You look at the overall season numbers, Only once all year has he given up more than 2 runs in a game. That came against the Florida Gators.
Yeah, the Miami kid had a good bounce back from multiple surgeries as well. Another one of those guys in the Hatter staff that has responded. And as low as that ERA right there says on your screen, it's been a .3.
In the lead on a silver platter. Inside, missing for ball 4. And Sam Reynolds draws his second free pass of the game.
Yeah, coming in, this Bears offense, 5th in the conference. Now they're over 250 walks on the year. The hitters have been what has kept them in ball games and have carried them through most of the.
And then 2 on Saturday, at least 1 on Sunday, maybe 2 if whoever is in the loser's bracket at that point forces a loss out of whoever's in the winner's bracket. So at least 14 scheduled, possibly 15. Good Shield pops this up. Landon Russell's there, makes the catch, the throw to first. Reynolds having to scramble back. It looks like that they will.
Previous play at second base, second call of out. Previous play, second call out. Under further umpire video review.
Let's see if we can take a good look here. There's that bounce that we're talking about. De La Cruz in the perfect position to apply that tag, as it turns out, even with the slip.
Yeah, I think he may have Lions and Hatters and Bears. Oh my, today in the A-Sun.
Carter Alexander, Keon Moseni, Tanner Leonard due up here for the full against a UCA batter.
UCA is capable of stretching innings. They looked really solid in the first inning. The wheels have fallen off a little bit with Gonzalez settling in, but that ball's fouled off on a full count.
Yep, Moseni's going to see at least 1 more.
In this tournament, when you've gone from narrowing down the teams that are deserve to be here, you can't just get a lead and coast. We've seen JU be the victim of that against Stetson 5 out of 6 times they've played this year, just me and you on the call. And Central Arkansas.
One that caught him tight, Jesse, but they're going to count it as a K.
It was a breaking ball, only 86, got out of his hand a little bit. Talk about a sword there. Good pitch there from Gorelick. And a big out. That'll bring up another big bat in Zeb Allen, especially the guy you want up right here for UCA. But
Gorelick's first K of the day, by the way.
Yeah, that's a huge out. Anything you need right there to put it away. And I think Coach Latham will see if we're going to go to the bullpen here or we're just going to get a quick chat.
We know one thing's for sure.
Perfectly with a curveball in the outside corner. Gross, but that's what Ty Van Dyke is capable of. First team All-A-Sun for a reason, but
Nathan
yeah,
Degree now up.
Like you talked about Masada a few minutes ago, we've only seen his velo rise, and he's had a sharper breaking ball. That's why you've seen the jump in strikeouts.
That time 80 for strike 1. I think you mentioned that strikeout. To me, the most impressive stat about Ty all year, he's 2nd on the team in Ks. Only got some pretty high quality gas of his own.
Yeah, picks up his 4th strikeout high in the zone there, lets it eat. Gets by a good hitter in Moran.
Moran's RBI single, by the way, the one that gave Stetson the lead officially. They have not let it up since. Foster Apple, who hit his way on softly last time up in the 5th, pops this one up, first pitch. Right above the second base bag there is Nathan Degree to the tournament. He feels 40's that magic number for Stetson. If they can get there, then they've got a chance.
Certainly very close. 3 straight seasons, 35+ wins, and set a conference record, program record for.
They're going to need some RPI help to get there, though, I think.
Exactly, and the RPI is only going to get padded now playing the better competition in the A-Sun tournament play, but that's the nature of the beast. You have to win this tournament to get that punch in.
The 1-2, and Russell, that one
against JU in their sweep in their last series at home. I said, have you seen him touch 97 before that at JUCO? And they said, I don't even know where it's coming from. I said, what is it? He goes, I think it's just the steak and chocolate milk that he eats. I said, what are you guys eating down there at the JUCO level anymore? And he said, it's the steak and chocolate milk is the 1-2 punch. I think something to learn there from all these pitchers coming up. Drink your chocolate milk and eat your steak if you want to throw 95.
That one fouled away by Sam Reynolds. Count now. Runner going. Miola will take second, uncontested. Not even a hint of a throw there from Carter Alexander.
But you're in a 2-0 count too. That's dangerous to Moran, who I would guess to be, if he gets a fastball center cut, you bet your money he's going to come out of his shoes swinging here.
He's got 4 homers on the year. A fairly productive day. A guy who started off the year at the top of the order for Stetson. He's slowly slid down ever since. The 2-1 big cut.
Yeah, Russell's been a guy, one of 7 players who had a test trial in the leadoff spot early to start this year. That was a big spot that Coach Trimper wanted to figure out and see who would be the everyday guy. Barquette is successful.